Crocodiles are fearsome creatures with huge, snapping jaws and those creepy, piercing eyes. They are a serious animal to come face to face with, but not all crocs are created equal, as they can live all over the world, coming in all shapes and sizes. This cool reptilian corner of the animal kingdom also has a few interesting species, some more populated than others. Today, we're taking a look at some of the rarest crocodiles still around. Some of these are seriously freaky. Starting off our list is the Nile crocodile. The Nile crocodile, as I'm sure the name gives away, is native to Africa, specifically freshwater habitats. These crocodiles are best to be avoided though, as they seem to have a taste for people. They're very indiscriminate hunters, and due to their proximity to humans living in Africa, run-ins are fairly frequent. Sometimes a human being washing their clothes in the local river will look just as appetizing as a migrating wildebeest. Firm numbers are hard to come by, but it's estimated that 200 people every year fall victim to these fearsome crocs. That figure is made even scarier when you hear that there are only around 70,000 of these crocodiles in the wild today. While this may put them in the least concern category for endangerment, they are still far less populated than most common crocodile or alligator species. These are not crocodiles that you would ever want to run into. Second on our list is the black caiman crocodile. The black caiman is a huge crocodile, growing as big as 16.4 feet, giving it the title of the largest member of the alligator family. They get their name because of their black scaly skin, which gives them camouflage when they go hunting in the nighttime, and it helps them absorb more heat too. While they were once very common, their skin became valuable and they were hunted nearly to extinction. Thankfully though, they've made a comeback and seem to be here to stay, for now at least. Next on the list is Morlet's crocodile. The Morlet's crocodile, also known as the Belize, are a fairly small species, only found in fresh waters in the Atlantic regions of Mexico, Belize, obviously, and Guatemala. Adult males average 9.8 feet in length. They also have quite a distinctive broad snout, which is the only thing that separates them physically from a common American crocodile. These crocodiles are unfortunately threatened as they lose more and more of their habitat, and their population is starting to see a decline. Next on our list, we have the African slender-snouted crocodile. These crocodiles are a medium-sized freshwater crocodile found in Central and Western Asia. They are also one of the least known of the world's crocodiles, and as their name suggests, they have a very characteristic slender snout that they use for catching their prey, usually fish. The adults of this species usually grow around 10 to 13 feet long and can be found in marshes, lakes, and pools in the rainforest. They're also remarkably shy, probably contributing to the fact that they aren't really well known. There are between 1,000 and 20,000 of these crocodiles left in the wild today. Up next is the broad-snouted caiman. This croc is highly aquatic, preferring a marsh or a swamp over land, generally found in densely vegetated, quieter waters. The adults of this species can grow up to 9.8 feet in length, but most adults usually grow to around a much more moderate 6.5 feet instead, much less intimidating. These creatures are easily recognized by their characteristic broad snout that is almost as wide at the eyes as it is long, hence their name. Its powerful jaws do serve a purpose, however, as they feed on crustacean carapaces and mollusk shells. So, they really need that big of a snout. Next on our list is the African dwarf crocodile. The African dwarf crocodile is also a contender for the cutest crocodile of all time, being the smallest adult crocodile around. They grow to around 5.9 feet. That's smaller than a lot of people. These crocodiles are on the list for a reason though, as they are currently critically endangered, meaning the chance you'll run into one of these little guys is unfortunately unlikely. Next comes the American crocodile. The American crocodile is considered at risk in nearly all parts of its North, Central, and South American range. Survey data is quite hard to come by, especially verifiable stuff, but conservationists agree that illegal hunting and habitat depletion is hurting their population of this wide-ranging reptile. The American crocodile has a maximum length of 20 feet, which is terrifying to think about, but thankfully most males just go to about 16.4 feet. Their snouts are narrow and triangular, and they probably look exactly like you'd predict an alligator to look. as they are the most common species in America. These crocodiles prefer a saltwater habitat, but are usually found in freshwater habitats. In the next spot is the false gharial. These crocs look very similar to other species, hence the name, with their long snouts, but they are actually from another family of crocodiles. These crocodiles are native to only 6 river systems in Sumatra and Malaysia, making them very rare, but they are only considered vulnerable at present, so they have a chance to repopulate. The main differences between these crocodiles and their real cousins is the fact that they do not grow as large, as the false gharial only grows to about 13 feet, whereas the regular gharial usually reaches around 16 feet. Speaking of which, up next is the real gharial. The gharial, also known as the fish-eating crocodile, has one of the most unique looks out of all the crocodiles on the list. They live in freshwater river systems and congregate at river bends. Their snouts are used for catching fish in these rivers, which is great for them as these crocodiles are not well suited to land at all and will avoid it at all costs. They generally only leave water to bask in the sun or to rest after some fishing. These crocs can be found in India and Nepal, as their population has decreased. These are the only 2 countries that still host these particular crocodiles. They are considered critically endangered, making seeing them even rarer. Next up is the Cuban crocodile. The Cuban crocodile is a smaller crocodile at around 11 feet in length. It is an aggressive crocodile, however, often regarded as the most aggressive crocodile around. They have a unique walk because of their big, strong legs, making them a threat on land. I think it's fair to say if you're picking a fight with a crocodile, these ones should be avoided at all costs. This shouldn't be a problem though, as there are only 3,000 of this species left today, making them critically endangered as a species. Next on the list is the Siamese crocodile. The Siamese crocodile is another unique and menacing looking croc, with a prominent bony crest above their eyes, giving them a cartoon villain look. These crocodiles were once widespread throughout much of mainland Southeast Asia in a range of wetland habitats, slow-moving rivers, lakes, marshes, and swamps. Unfortunately, the species has now disappeared from almost all of its former range, and for a while was considered to be extinct in the wild. This was until it was thankfully rediscovered during a survey in Cambodia's Cardamom Mountains. These crocodiles are one of the rarest wild species, with less than 1,000 mature adults left in the wild. It's looking bleak for these poor guys' future. Next up on our list is the Orinoco crocodile. The Orinoco crocodile is a medium-sized crocodile, coming in at around 16 feet. They're identified by their narrow snout sloping upwards at its tip. The body of the crocodile are covered in scales and shoots, making them a unique-looking croc. The snout also has an interesting purpose, as the crocodile can completely submerge themselves underwater and still breathe through their nose, giving them an edge when it comes to hunting down their prey. Unfortunately, these animals are very critically endangered, with only around 250 to 700 in the wild. This is largely due to them being hunted for their skins in the 19th and 20th centuries, whittling down their populations to such a small number today. Their meat, skin, and teeth were also valuable as they were believed to have medicinal benefits, but there isn't much data to support that claim. Next on the list is the Philippine crocodile. While these crocs were once prevalent through the Philippines, their wild population is now around 250, making them very critically endangered. And because of this, in 2001, the Filipino government made them a nationally protected animal. Hunting one of these crocodiles carries a hefty 100,000 peso fine, which is equivalent to about $2,500. They primarily live in freshwater rivers, ponds, and marshes. These crocs are usually around 10 feet in size, making them one of the smaller crocs on the list. Interestingly though, these crocodiles play an important part in Filipino folklore, as it is believed that when somebody passes away, their soul is either taken to Maka, the good place, or Kasanan, the bad place. This journey is for the soul to exit the real world, as the body has already departed. Their souls are told to make this journey with the aid of a buwaya, which is a crocodile monster with a tomb attached to its back, undoubtedly inspired by the Philippine crocodiles themselves. And finally, we have the Chinese alligator. These crocs are so rare. It's thought that they were probably less than 120 of this species left in the wild, and they're disappearing fast, making them firmly critically endangered. They're another species that are surprisingly small, only growing to be around 5.9 feet long. They're mostly found in slow slow-moving bodies of water like streams, rivers, and swamps. The main reason for the shockingly low number of these crocodiles left in the wild is the fact that their habitat is being destroyed and fragmented, and they have nowhere else to go. On top of this, their food supplies are often contaminated with fertilizer and pesticide used for agriculture. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this croc will be around for much longer. Well, that's it for the list. Thanks for watching.